Hello, Go Horrors and fellow Deadites. I'm Brennan.
I'm Sam.
And welcome to Our Life in Horror.
We are reviewing The Substance.
Yes, we just got out of theater.
People always ask for something new. It's inevitable. At 50, well, it stops.
Mm-hmm. It was a wild ride.
Very wild ride.
And I survived a 2.5-hour movie in the theater.
First question we were done was, do you regret coming to see this movie?
Yeah, no. This movie was so fast-paced.
It is super fast-paced for a very long movie.
Yeah, we're going to start spoiler-free here, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, like there was not a second that dragged.
Yep.
And I didn't even realize it until after. I'm like, damn, they really just jam-packed that movie.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not like an overload of information. It's just that you're so curious about what's going to happen.
Yeah. So real quick, director is Coralie Fargate.
Can we click on her and see?
I don't have her up right now.
Okay.
I have the cast up. Starring Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and Dennis Quaid. Now I can go back and find the director. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah. I'm just so curious about if they've done anything else.
Revenge.
Okay.
I didn't mind that movie.
Yeah, I didn't mind it either.
I had things I liked about it and things I didn't like. But yeah.
Okay.
This movie was filled with body horror, as everyone knows now, because everyone's raving about it.
Yeah.
It's got kind of a sad story.
It's got a very powerful story.
Yeah,
and
very uncomfortable.
There's not a whole lot of, I feel like a lot of the subtext is pretty on, like, in your face.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of wished it was a little more subtext, but I think it works perfect for the story that it is in your face.
Mm-hmm.
I think the simplest way I can break this down, this movie, spoiler free, is that if Brian Usna and I'm gonna say Brandon Cronenberg had a baby, that's what this fucking movie would be.
Yeah.
I find 2/3 of this movie, probably almost 2 hours of this movie, is David Cronenberg or Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last 20 minutes is just full on Brian Usna.
Who's that?
He did Society.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wildly out there for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. We actually had someone in the theater clap.
Yep. Once a lot of the carnage was done, somebody just started clapping, and it was the young kid of the parents over there.
Yeah, our theater was filled with old people. And I was like this is quite the movie for it deals with aging.
Yep.
And it made me uncomfortable, and I'm in my 30s. Like, it made me real uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
The only way I could think of why they were there was like maybe these dudes or their wives like grew up watching Demi Moore,
and they're like, "Oh, she's in the movie.
Yeah,
let's go see this movie."
Or like they got hooked on Demi Moore in their like 30s or something like that, and they were like, "Oh, we've been following her for years."
Yeah, because the guy, when we left the theater, you said the one old dude was not impressed.
It didn't seem like he was too impressed. He was like, he just kind of we looked at each other, and he was like, "Well," and I was like, "Well, that was a wild ride."
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, super fast paced, great story, lots of great body horror and special effects.
The score.
Yeah.
I was like, almost the whole way home, I was just repeating the beats.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Great acting.
Cinematography is amazing. Great color palettes, choices.
Yeah.
This isn't really necessarily spoilers or spoiler free, but this is just something I have. It's almost the same kind of boat as It Follows, where it doesn't specifically fit into a specific time.
Okay.
Because we see Demi Moore vacuuming the floor, and it's a very old vacuum, or at least it looks old. Like it's got a bag on it.
Well, even her doing a workout video.
Yeah.
Is old school.
But she still has an iPhone.
Yeah. Okay.
Or a smartphone.
Yeah. This also reminded me a little bit of Starry Eyes.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it's movie of the year before we get into spoilers?
I liked it more than I liked Long Legs.
Me too.
Okay. I thought that might have been a little controversial, but okay.
No, I'm trying to think of something.
I think I might have liked it even more than. I think Abigail was my movie of the year so far, and that movie is just a fucking blast. This is a totally different movie. So I think if I'm going for like fun movies, I'm gonna go with probably Abigail. If I'm gonna go for what I would consider to be the horror movie of the year so far, I'm probably gonna go with The Substance.
Yeah.
Like even Alien Romulus. I loved most Alien Romulus. I still have my issues with it, but I still loved it. I have my issues with this movie as well. I do not think this is a perfect movie.
I like this one more than Alien Romulus.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Yeah.
There's no sci-fi. Well, I guess it's pretty sci-fi.
But Alien Romulus, I gave it a high score.
True. Yeah. This is pretty sci-fi too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
A little bit. Not like, yeah. It's not in space though. So that's what I don't like. I don't like space.
Yeah.
And yes, I got my Art the Clown today, so he's coming everywhere with me.
Yeah.
Okay, should we get into spoilers then?
Absolutely. I highly recommend going checking this out in theaters.
Yeah, definitely in a theater.
If you can find a theater with like a packed crowd, I think that'd be a very interesting watch. We've seen reviews for this today that were all over the map with people like puking and just all kinds of wild stories.
Mm-hmm.
We did not have that experience. So I said to Sam on the way there, I was like, if somebody pukes in the theater,
you're happy.
I'm happy, and I'm just gonna walk out. I'm gonna be so happy that I don't even have to finish the movie.
Satisfied.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Spoilers.
So this movie is it's like a combination of those two directors on a Twilight Zone episode, because you have this aging star, and I think it's a great. Well, you know exactly what's going to be happening in the first 30 seconds of this movie.
Yeah.
With the egg.
Oh, see, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah,
like even after that?
I was like, oh, what's this?
Like the egg shoots the yolk out the back.
Yeah, that didn't mean anything to me.
Oh, I kind of had an idea.
I also had no idea what this movie was about going into it, though.
Yeah.
Well, a tiny bit, I guess. I knew it had to deal with aging in Hollywood.
Yes.
And I knew there was going to be body horror, and that's it.
Yep. There's this great shot of the Walk of the Star. What is it?
The Walk of Fame or the Star? Fuck, what is it?
I don't know. The Walk of Fame. She's got a star on
for movie people. What is this?
I don't know.
I'm blanking. I'm tired.
Yeah. On the Hollywood Walk of Fame, our Elizabeth Sparkles has a star.
Yeah.
And over the years, you get to see it aged and cracked and start not getting taken care of.
And that's like the first scene.
Yep.
Or the second, I guess. But right from that scene, I was sad.
Oh.
Well, yeah, because I knew exactly where this was going after that.
Yeah.
Right? Sorry, our dogs are wild. We just got back from the theater. They've been all cooped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we have Demi Moore doing her workout video.
Mm-hmm.
See, this made me so sad because she's fucking beautiful. And I was like, how can you be upset with yourself? But it's how people treat her, right?
Yeah, well, you have Dennis Quaid.
Oh my god!
As the, I think they call him like the showrunner.
Yeah, this is what reminded me of Starry Eyes, the head guy, and then the girl trying to be famous.
Yeah. But he's like over the top.
He is, and I hated him, which is so well done on his part.
Yeah. He's fucking gross, and so are all the other like the shareholders or whatever too. At the end of the movie, there's the scene where they go following people and they all like run away like the same way. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but I was laughing. I thought it was funny. But yeah, Dennis Quaid is like, she's 50 years old now. We're forcing her into retirement, and we're gonna find somebody new. Somebody young, somebody that's got it.
Yep, because you just get forgotten about when you reach a certain age.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, and then when she got the substance.
Oh, real quick, can we talk about the sound design with Dennis Quaid eating shrimp?
Ew. Yeah.
Fucking disgusting.
Yeah. I literally was like, if I ever want to go on a diet, I'm just going to put that clip on repeat and just watch it when I'm eating, and I'll never want to eat again.
Yeah, it is so gross. And kudos to whoever did the sound design, because it was fucking disgusting.
It was gross. A lot of uncomfortableness going on in this movie.
Yeah. Well, she has an accident, and then she's at the doctor, and then she noticed this guy gives her a little note with a little thumb drive that's called this substance, and he said it changed his life forever.
Even just him looking at her spine was like, everything in this movie is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not have a good time with the needles.
No.
And there's a lot of fucking needles.
There is.
I looked away a lot.
Oh, really?
For the needle parts, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't do well with blood work. I don't do well with any of that stuff. Like, I was queasy when she was... Even someone putting that rubber band around their arm for circulation makes me queasy.
Oh, yeah?
Just the circulation part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was looking at you during that, and you didn't even notice.
I sucked into the movie.
Yeah, I was not looking at those parts, but yeah, and then her back cracks open.
Yeah, so literally, like, this girl, this better, younger version of herself, pops out of her back as just a full human being, already 20-something years old. Already, they just separate. And the rules is that you have to feed the other person for 7 days. You have to refuel yourself, because there's Demi Moore, and then there's who?
Sue.
Sue.
Oh, well, that's her. Sorry.
That's her character. There's Elizabeth and there's Sue, and Elizabeth is the Matrix, so she's the one that kind of can control this whole situation. But that's not quite the way it goes. But there are rules. So when Elizabeth is under, the other girl has to inject spinal fluid into herself in order to keep herself alive. Otherwise, she goes through pain. And then they have to switch every 7 days. Otherwise, irreversible effects will happen to the Matrix.
Yeah.
To Elizabeth's character.
Sue sewing her back up too was really gross.
I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was that bad.
I thought it was gross.
I thought it was poorly done. I'm not a doctor, but I was like...
Oh, I thought you meant special effects wise.
No. The effects are all great in this movie.
Yeah.
Effects are fantastic. I'm just saying it didn't look like
with
shoes
little ties.
Yeah. It just looks like it was double knotted, and then that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised she didn't put bows in it.
Yeah. This movie just puts you through so many feelings, though.
Oh, yeah.
And then we get to meet Sue a little bit in her sparkly life. Sparkly. And of course, Dennis Quaid. I forget. I don't even know what his character's name was.
Jackass. No, I don't know.
Yeah, he absolutely loved her, of course.
Yeah. There's a lot of over sexualization in this movie, like the male gaze, which is very prominent. It's very thrown in your face,
especially for that whole beginning scene of Sue.
Yep.
Yeah, and then okay, I have to bring up the quote at the end. I'm sorry. I'm jumping to it.
Okay.
Because you brought up the male gaze.
Okay.
So when he says pretty girls smile.
Yeah.
I looked right at you.
Yeah.
Because he fucking tells me to smile all the time.
I say I want you to smile.
No, in Walmart yesterday you said it, and I looked at you and I was like, I don't want to fucking smile. I got so mad. And then I said something to you about how men always want women to smile, and then literally this movie threw it in her face 3 times.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Calling you out.
Yeah.
But yeah, after the whole getting to know Sue, then we kind of see. I thought Sue. So when we first met Sue, I thought she was still the same brain. I thought it was still Elizabeth.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah, I kind of thought that way too.
But it's actually a completely different girl. Kinda. They're still one.
They're one. They're just younger, so it's maybe this girl has the same experience. You know what I mean? Maybe she retains most of the same memories, but she's like, I'm younger now. I can kind of do what I want. She has that young naivety to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she starts to live her life, and she doesn't really quite understand the consequences of some of her actions. She doesn't understand that actions have consequences, and you can piss people off, especially the people that are basically not essentially in control of your life, but like she literally depends on the other person to live for as long as possible, for her to live as long as possible.
Mm-hmm.
There is a quote throughout the movie of the substance guy who's like, it's all about balance and you gotta be one with the other. It's not just two separate entities. You guys are one, and you guys have to figure that shit out. Not once does either of them leave a note for each other to be like, hey, we should do this. Instead, they harbor a lot of resentment. So Sue goes and gets the part that Elizabeth used to have. She throws a party. She leaves the fucking mess, and then Elizabeth has to clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
Resentment. And then Sue takes a couple hours extra because you have to do it 7 days on the dot.
Yeah,
Otherwise, irreversible side effects will happen.
to Elizabeth.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like she's literally stealing her youth.
Yeah. So then Elizabeth is like, fuck you while your time is here. I'm going to also make a fucking mess of this apartment. So she makes it and destroys the whole mess.
Yeah.
And
With food.
with food. And she cooked an entire cookbook in 7 days.
Yeah.
There's also a scene with Demi Moore's character where she meets an old friend from high school.
Oh yeah, Fred or Frank or
I think it's Frank. Maybe it's Fred.
it's an F. It's an F name.
Yeah. But like that could have been her like salvation.
Yeah.
And unfortunately she never follows through with it.
I know. She could have like yeah. The loneliness in this movie.
Yes.
She could have lived a happy life. She could have met someone nice, like a nice man like that. Like, and he's telling her she's still the most beautiful girl. So like, it's just so heartbreaking.
Yeah. During her 1 week, Sue gets super famous and wants to keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
And she steals like 3 days worth of spinal fluid, and then she switches back, and like we come back to Elizabeth, who is super deformed.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was the 3 months where we come back and she's super deformed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically she just turns into like this hunchback. It's you honestly have to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the best.
Even before she turns into that, though, we get glimpses of how other people treat her. Like, so not just Dennis Quaid, but even like the guy that was hooking up with Sue the one night with the motorcycle,
Mhm.
and like just the way he treats her, like it's just like get the heck out of the way and stuff, right? And then even the neighbor. The neighbor comes over and gets all mad about the noise, and then he sees Sue and like it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It's like so true to life though, how people treat you, because I see on TikTok all the time of like girls on weight loss journeys, and they say when they were like overweight they were treated like crap, and now that they're skinny, like people actually pay attention to them. And it's like, it's sad. It's actually how life is.
Yeah. Yeah, it paints a very ugly picture of society.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, she turns into this old witchy looking
Something. Yeah. So Elizabeth's character tries to kill Sue.
Mm-hmm.
She brings her back to life, which I thought might have like duped the system, and they could have just like survived
Together.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing, but then Sue saw she was terminating her.
Yeah, so Sue just fucking kills her.
Yeah, she's
So
like, "You are gonna fucking kill me."
she kills her only life supply,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So
And that's a bloody mess.
oh yeah, this movie ends up like being Evil Dead 2013 levels of blood, but not quite gore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking about that on the way home. I'm like, there's just a ridiculous amount of blood,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll get to that. So Sue starts to she's hosting this big event on New Year's Eve. She goes there. She starts losing her teeth. She loses her ear.
The teeth were gross.
Yeah, it's fingernails.
Pulling them out. Yeah.
And then she goes back and she decides to inject herself with the substance to try and create another copy, being already another copy. And what comes out is for you to see. It's undescribable. They were eyes and boobs and hands and limbs and complete other faces and
Demi Moore's face on the back where she's like stretched out
yeah,
gave me anxiety.
yeah,
Like major anxiety. I was like, she's stuck there.
yeah,
I hated it.
yeah. It's fucking wild. And then she goes to the event as this thing dressed up as like it's literally a Cinderella dress, and then the crowd just hates her, and she loses an arm, and it's literally a fire hose of blood just spraying everybody. My jaw was on the floor. I was like literally like,
Didn't she lose a boob?
oh yeah, this boob popped out of her head.
Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't lose it. It just grew out and then just like popped out like a tumor.
Yeah. That was gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bloody the hose.
Yeah.
And everyone's calling her a monster.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just literally like, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The music and everything was awesome.
Yeah. I was like, oh, there's no way they're doing this song. Like when she enters on stage and it's like it's just like this classic song. If once you hear it, you'll know exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't. I don't want to sing it right now.
And then
no, she basically
she's out on the street.
Yeah, she goes out to the street and she falls off into herself and she explodes. And then Demi Moore's face as a little blob just kind of crawls back onto her star on the Walk of Fame and then disintegrates into it.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of has that like open book ending.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah, I have two issues with this movie, I think.
Okay.
First one is when Sue kicks Elizabeth and she is like literally just like catapulted across the room. Like she flies like 20 feet.
It's almost like she got superpowers.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I didn't need it to go that far.
Yeah.
I just felt like that seemed a little out of place.
It could just be like them saying she's stronger because she's the young and beautiful one kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like she's superior.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, but it just didn't fit for me. Because I was like everything, even knowing how like crazy everything is, I was like, that's like the most unrealistic thing in this movie. And I'm like, that's not even the most unrealistic thing about this movie is. But like just at that point, I was like, nah, they just should have kicked her and she just should have fell over.
Yeah.
I like the ending too. I was gonna kind of try to say that it was maybe a little too far and they kind of should have kept it in more of a grounded way, because it's almost a way of like making light of everything you just saw. Like it almost feels like it's so ridiculous that it's a little funny.
The ending?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like the whole.
They should have ended it maybe a little bit more sad.
Yeah, like
serious.
I already think it is sad. I just think that they could have made that whole sequence a lot darker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. And I guess that's where it depends on what you want from this movie, I guess, right?
True.
Some people might absolutely love the ending and some people might agree with you.
Yeah. I don't know. I still really liked it.
Yeah. What would you rate this?
I'm giving this movie a 4.5 stars.
Okay.
So high thumbs up, low 100.
I'm honestly probably going to 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really have any issues with it. I kind of like my thoughts of it being her superior, and that's why she had the superhuman strength. And then I liked the ending. I thought it was wild. It made it worth that extra 20 minutes, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely see that.
I don't know if this is going to be a movie I run to watch again like quickly
Okay.
because it's long and it's a wild ride. By the end, you're amped up and exhausted at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think it deserves a 5 for me.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, guys, let us know your thoughts of this movie, The Substance. Have you seen it? Are you going to watch it? Are you excited? Let us know down below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you're just new to our channel.
And always remember to stay spooky.